Sammy was a curious 5-year-old. She loved to play with her toys, especially her stuffed animals. Sammy had a big imagination. She also loved listening to grown-up conversations. Sometimes they used big words that Sammy didn't understand. One day, Sammy was playing in the living room. The TV was on, and some grown-ups were talking. They said a funny word, tariffs. "What's a tariff?" Sammy wondered. "It sounds like a scary monster." Sammy asked her mom. "Mommy, what's a tariff?" Mommy sighed. "It's like a tax on toys from far away," she explained. "It makes them more expensive." Sammy frowned. "That's silly. Why would anyone want toys to be more expensive?" she asked. Mommy just shrugged. "Grown-ups can be silly sometimes," she said. "But why?" Sammy persisted. "Why make things more expensive?" Her mom simply said, "Well, some grown-ups think it'll help us." This only made Sammy more confused. How could making things more expensive possibly help anyone? It didn't make any sense to her. Sammy decided to pay closer attention to the grown-ups on TV. Maybe they could explain it better.
"We're putting big tariffs on everything," he boomed. "They're gonna be huge." He kept saying the tariffs were permanent and here to stay. He sounded very sure of himself.
Sammy didn't understand most of what he was saying, but she knew big and huge meant a lot of something, and permanent sounded like forever. Sammy wondered what these tariffs were. They sounded very serious. Maybe they were even scarier than she initially thought. Sammy looked around. Her mom seemed worried. Her dad was frowning. The news on TV showed people in suits looking very concerned. Even the stock numbers going down looked like a sad face. Sammy decided that tariffs must be pretty bad if they made everyone so unhappy. After Mr. Trump's big announcement, things started to get weird. The grown-ups on TV, the ones in suits, started freaking out. They called it a market freakout. Apparently, these tariffs made a lot of grown-ups with money very nervous. The news talked about stocks going down. Sammy didn't know what stocks were, but they sounded important. And if they were going down, that couldn't be good. Then, people started whispering about something called a pause on the tariffs. Sammy imagined the tariffs going to sleep for a nap, but Mr. Trump, he yelled even louder.
"No pause. Fake news, we don't need a pause."
Sammy wondered why he was so angry. Weren't pauses a good thing? Like when Mommy paused a movie to get more popcorn. That was always a good thing. Just when Sammy thought she was starting to understand, everything changed.
"There will be no pause."
But then, Mr. Trump announced a pause. He said the tariffs would be on hold for 90 days. It was like a magic trick. Sammy giggled, imagining Mr. Trump pulling a rabbit out of a hat. But the grown-ups on TV didn't think it was funny. They seemed even more confused than before. And then, the really silly part started. The people who worked for Mr. Trump, they all started saying different things.
The pause was always the plan.
It's fake news. Actually, it was always the plan because other countries were listening.
It was like they were all playing a game of telephone, and the message got all mixed up. Sammy sat on the floor, her chin resting on her hand, watching the grown-ups on TV. They looked so serious, their faces all scrunched up. But to Sammy, it was like watching a cartoon where everyone kept bumping into each other and saying silly things. One minute, Mr. Howard said Mr. Trump wouldn't back down. The next minute, he said Mr. Trump was still strong even though he changed his mind. Sammy couldn't help but giggle. It was all so silly. It was like they were all making it up as they went along. That's when it hit Sammy. These grown-ups were lying. They were saying one thing and doing another. And they were trying to confuse everyone with their big words and complicated explanations. Sammy loved sharing her toys. Sometimes her friend Billy would come over, and they would build towers with blocks. They would trade toys, a car for a dinosaur, always making sure it was fair. Why were the grown-ups making things so complicated? Why couldn't everyone just share and trade fairly? Sammy thought about the toys she loved. Some of them came from far away, like her toy giraffe from Africa. It didn't matter where they came from. Sammy loved them all the same, and she knew her friends in other countries loved their toys too. It just made sense to share and trade. It was simple, and it made everyone happy. Sammy sighed and went back to playing with her toys, leaving the confusing world of grown-ups behind. She knew grown-ups could be silly, but she hoped that one day they would learn to be more honest and fair. Maybe when Sammy grew up, she could teach everyone how to trade and share without all the lies and confusion. Maybe, just maybe, Sammy's generation would build a world where everyone could enjoy toys from all over the world. A world without tariffs and lies, a world built on honesty and cooperation. And that thought made Sammy smile. The future, even if it seemed far away, was full of hope.